What's up, guys? It's your boy Okage Puya here, and we got more AFC World Cup qualifying reaction. This round's games in October, just ended, and we got a lot of games to go through. Like I'll always do in these videos, guys, we're gonna go through. Since it's round 3, we're gonna go through all groups A, B, and C. We're gonna go through the matches, talk about the results, talk about what I expect next, and kind of sort out and see what the prospects of these groups are gonna finish out on, and see who's gonna qualify for World Cup 2026 in the United States. A lot happened this time around. Some teams improved their performances big time. Some teams disappointed. Cough, cough, Indonesia. Some teams disappointed. Cough, cough, Indonesia. But anyway, we'll talk about Indonesia later in this video. Yeah, very disappointing for them, but a lot of improvements from a lot of teams. Some teams were still a little bit underwhelming, and if not, and honestly, pretty crap. And we're gonna talk about it all right here in this video. You guys, if you're new to these videos, subscribe so you could see them. Asia Cup content all the time. When the games roll around, my videos roll around about AFC. And yeah, man, let's just get into it. Bringing up the slides, just like I always do. If you're new here, it's always results in games to the left of the screen, how the group stands right now at the bottom of the screen. And let's start with Group A. So my boys Iran in our group. So starting off with the first 3 games last week, Uzbekistan and Iran tied in a very boring 0-0, you guys. I fell asleep at halftime. I woke up at 7 a.m. to watch this game here in the United States. I fell asleep. I woke up midway through the second half, and I thought, I see it 0-0, and I thought, I'm not going to stay up for this. I'm going to sleep in. And yeah, I didn't watch the rest of the game because I knew no one would score. It was so boring. It was so uninspiring. And Uzbekistan, really, for the home team, Uzbekistan to play that badly, I'm definitely more, disappointed in Uzbekistan's performance there against Iran. At home, if they really want to solidify that first or second place spot, they had to go and get that win against Iran. Iran wasn't that good attacking wise in that game, but again, they're showing more defensive solidity than they have in the past in these World Cup qualifying games. And during these 2 games, during these October games, they definitely showed that. In the Uzbekistan game, yes, Uzbekistan was not creating much going forward, but Iran definitely did show improvements in their defense again. And then you had Qatar beating Kyrgyzstan 3-1. This is what Qatar needed after a disappointing start last time. They need to come in, get a big win in their first game back. And yeah, they were always going to beat Kyrgyzstan as long as they showed up. They're at home. They smashed 3 goals past them, and it's an easy 3 points for them. And then a surprising result here, UAE at home. UAE at home will be a little frustrated. I don't think they're in too much danger of not getting into at least the playoff spots, but they did end up tying to the honorable North Korea. Kim Jong-un should be happy with that, going away from home, getting 1 point. The UAE, obviously disappointing. If they got that win, they would have 2 extra points. They'd be on 6 points, 2 points above Qatar, 3 points against Kyrgyzstan, putting distance between them and their main competitors for the playoff spots. I think UAE, seeing what I've seen so far from them, I don't think the UAE has a real chance at pushing for the first and second place spots. If anything, it's Qatar, but Qatar needs to get some big results against Uzbekistan and the rest of their games to really bring it back and try to get first or second place. But I think the UAE will not be challenging for first or second. And I was just really disappointed to see them draw at home against North Korea. You shouldn't be doing that. But obviously, you guys, with the new format of the World Cup, more teams, we didn't used to have these playoff spots. And UAE, yes, it sucks that you got a disappointing result at home against North Korea, but even if you get the playoff spots, that's still a chance you wouldn't have had in previous qualifying structures and organizations in the years past. So disappointing, but it is what it is. Kyrgyzstan getting a big win at home against North Korea. I think for Kyrgyzstan, the thing with Kyrgyzstan is that they obviously have no chance of getting first or second. They need to steal a 3rd or 4th place spot over UAE or Qatar, and then they need to perform a miracle in that playoff game. Now, they do have a chance here. If UAE, I do think Qatar will continue to improve and get more wins, and I think they will solidify themselves as the 3rd place team in this group, potentially maybe even second. I think UAE is the team here where, after the games I saw this time around, I could definitely see them falling off, and maybe Kyrgyzstan can sneak one in on the UAE and get maybe 4th place in the group. got the win against North Korea. Yes, they lost to Qatar, but it is what it is. These are the games you need to win if you're the Kyrgyzstan to give yourself the best hope. And they got it done, unlike another team that we'll talk about in Group C that did not get it done and that did shit the bed. Uzbekistan at home against UAE, kind of sealing UAE's fate, in my opinion. This is what I was kind of alluding to, how I don't think they'll challenge for first or second anymore. They dropped points in both games here, lost 1-0 to Uzbekistan. I will say, Uzbekistan again, yes, they're on the 10 points and the same as Iran. Uzbekistan has been getting a little lucky here. They have not been performing well. Generally, over these 4 games, Uzbekistan hasn't really played an amazing game. And right now, they're kind of barely scraping these wins and getting these points. I don't know, man. Uzbekistan, this is why I think Qatar, if they improve their performances, can potentially sneak one over Uzbekistan. I think Iran is definitely the strongest team in this group so far, and I think they will end up getting first place unless something catastrophic happens. But this is why I'm saying Qatar still has a chance to maybe sneak one over Uzbekistan, because Uzbekistan have been playing bad. Yes, they've been getting the results, but will that catch up to them? We have games next month in November. Will they show up, play bad again, and this time get punished? We're going to have to see. But that's why I say Uzbekistan, they get the win, they get the penalty, but it was very fortunate. They have not been impressive at all. And then in the last game of this group today, Iran, I already made a video on this reaction to the Qatar win. Iran winning 4-1, blowing Qatar out of the water. Definitely a much improved performance for Iran. They were showing more defensive solidity in this game. Yes, Qatar had some chances. They hit the post twice, but Iran could have had 5, 6, 7, 8 goals this game if the finishing was better, if the players made smarter decisions. Definitely what I wanted to see from Iran against a team like Qatar, who beat us in the Asia Cup semifinal. Definitely an improved performance for Iran, showing defensive solidity, but now against a bigger team like Qatar, who has more quality in the back, they're able to put 4 past them at home. Very promising signs for Iran. So if I'm to give my predictions how I see this group playing out, I think in the end, Iran will probably end up first place in this group. Now, this, I think from second to fourth is where it's a wild card. I think Uzbekistan, yes, they're in a great position, 6 points ahead of the UAE and Qatar, but they have not been playing good. And if they get punished in the next games and Qatar gets those wins, Qatar can easily sneak up to second. But right now, Uzbekistan is not playing well and they're getting the results. So I would actually predict Uzbekistan are probably still on track to get second in this group. Qatar third. And honestly, UAE was very disappointing this time around, but I don't think they'll crap the bed in the next games. I think the UAE will continue to get their points that they need to get fourth place. I think Kyrgyzstan will get fifth place, and I think North Korea. I'm tired of being scared of Kim Jong-un. North Korea is not going to do anything. They're not going to get to the World Cup. Just give up on the North Korea World Cup 2026 USA dream. And I'm sorry, yeah, Kim Jong-un. I'm sorry, bro. You're my boy. We grew up together. You kind of look like you put on some extra pounds, bro. I'm not going to lie. I'm not scared of you, Kim Jong-un. As a friend, you should be able to take honest criticism. This isn't going to spread. You guys, I'm being targeted by North Korea, but I'm so, guys, I have so much dignity, so much respect for myself. I'm putting myself out there, speaking against North Korea, telling you guys that these guys won't make the World Cup, having that real talk with North Korea, saying your team sucks, your players suck, your coach sucks, and you'll never make it to the World Cup, and you did good enough to get to the round 3 of qualifying. Kim Jong-un, I'm just having a real talk with you, man. We used to play on the playground as a kid. You used to sneak me some food back in the North Korean playgrounds, all the food that you've apparently been not sharing anymore. Look at the pounds he's putting on, and I'm just giving you the real talk. This is him at his press conference, guys, putting a hit out on me today, putting a press conference on my head because I insulted him on WhatsApp, bro. So Kim Jong-un, just real talk, bro. Come after me. I'll take your assassins down, dude. And yeah, I'm not scared of you. I'm sorry. Last time I was scared. This time, Kim Jong-un, just last week I was scared of you. Not anymore, bro. I'm giving you that real talk, and North Korea is never going to do crap. But yeah, guys, Group A, yeah, fuck you. Kim Jong-un, screw that guy. Anyway, he needs that real talk. He needs to be checked. Anyway, checks and balances. We need that. Okay, anyway. So Group A, yeah, those are my thoughts on Group A. Let's go into Group B. So pretty much a 3-horse race in this group for those top 2 qualifying spots. Let's just start with the games real quick. South Korea away to Jordan. Good win. 2-0. Very, very good win. Getting the clean sheet, getting the goals. I think South Korea's performances definitely are looking stronger under a South Korean coach. The Jurgen Klinsmann experiment, yes, they got to a semifinal, but the football wasn't good. The football is now good for South Korea. They get a very good and pretty convincing win. Jordan had their chances in the game. Don't get me wrong. Jordan had their chances, but pretty convincing win away from home for South Korea. Oman. Now this shocked me, guys. I thought Oman was going to be a team that barely gets a point, barely scores goals. They pulled up at home and beat Kuwait 4-0. I did not have that on my you guys. I did not have that on my books. I thought Kuwait would. I knew this would be a close game because they're kind of similar level, but I thought Kuwait would have a little more quality to get maybe like a 2-1 win. But I woke up and saw the result 4-0. Try to scrape any highlights I can on the internet. Very impressive win for Oman. Now, what does this mean for Oman? I don't know. They're not going to challenge for first or second. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. This gives Oman hope. This really does give Oman hope to potentially get in a playoff spot and pull off a miracle. So we'll see. And Iraq at home, surprisingly only winning 1-0 against Palestine. I would have expected maybe 2 or 3 goals. But yeah, they get the win. They get the clean sheet. Clean sheet is always a great, thing to have when you're getting wins. So Iraq getting that clean sheet win against Palestine 1-0. And then South Korea, the big game of this group this time around, South Korea versus Iraq. Huge, huge game. I think Iraq put up a very good fight here, but I think South Korea getting this win kind of showed you that probably South Korea is the front runners to get first in this group. Obviously, they're an Asian giant, but that was an intense game. I urge you to go watch the highlights of that game. Goal fest, 3-2. Everyone scoring. It was gung-ho football. South Korea 3-2. Good win. Iraq, a little bit hard done by, but you're away from home. That's not the worst result. You're kind of expected to lose away from home to South Korea every time, but to give that performance, I think Iraq will not leave this 3-2 loss, feeling depressed. They'll feel encouraged. Then the big game, Oman winning their first game 4-0, Jordan coming off the loss to South Korea. Jordan, again, man, keeping up that high, that attacking style that made them so successful, that got them to the Asia Cup final earlier this year. Jordan winning 4-0, smashing Oman. This is why I said, I don't know about Oman. Yes, they got the big win, but then they ended up going a couple days later and getting absolutely wiped off the planet 4-0 by Jordan. So we'll see how that does for their confidence. I'm not sure, but it does help Oman, though, that in the next game, Kuwait was not able to get the win over Palestine. Palestine, I think they scored late to tie it 2-2. So Kuwait, again, leaving these 2 games only with 1 point, I really didn't expect it. I thought Kuwait actually would leave these 2 games with at least 4 points, a win and a draw. I really thought that. A win against Oman, and a draw against Palestine isn't the worst result. Palestine is a very good team, but I did not expect that 4-0 to Oman, and Kuwait really dropping the ball here. 1 point only. Now look, they're down in 5th, tied on points with Oman. Clear, like I said, clear front 3, Iraq, Jordan, South Korea. Iraq and Jordan on 7 points. South Korea on 10 points. This is why I'm saying that Iraq, that clean sheet win is very important for against Palestine, because you don't want to concede games. You don't want to concede goals and ruin your goal difference. Now, Jordan, with how much they attack, they do have 4 more goals scored than Iraq, and they have 3 more goal difference than them. So Iraq is going to have to find a way to maybe make that up, maybe in a game against Jordan, get the win over them, get a points advantage, and then maybe get a couple clean sheets and get that goal difference evened out again. But I think if we're looking at how I'm seeing how this group is going to progress, I think South Korea will end up getting first place in the group. We'll see them at World Cup 2026, probably like Heung-min Son's last tournament for them. And then I really can't tell you who I think who is going to get second out of Jordan and Iraq. It's kind of unfortunate. I think Jordan and Iraq are 2 teams that are absolutely good enough to go to the World Cup, and they should. Only one of them will get automatic qualification. I think I'd favor Iraq, to be honest, to get that automatic qualification, and then Jordan to get 3rd come next year in June, or I think June or July. I think next June are the last games of round 3 qualifying. I kind of expect Iraq to get 2nd, Jordan to get 3rd. And then honestly, I don't really know who would get 4th between Oman, Kuwait, and Palestine, but I know for a fact it'll be a battle for 4th between those 3 teams. And I think either way, Jordan would probably beat either of those 3 teams in a 2-legged playoff. So yeah, interesting stuff in Group B. South Korea creating a little more distance for themselves, giving themselves more confidence to get first place. And really, it's Jordan, Iraq going head-to-head here for that next automatic qualification spot. So very interesting to see what happens. And then finally, guys, Group C, disappointing. I mean, we'll get to them. Indonesia, honestly, so disappointing, guys. So disappointing from Indonesia. I just have to be real. But honestly, the biggest loser, like the biggest L of this week of international football, I think in the whole world, is probably Indonesia's performance this year. Absolutely shameful. Australia, let's just start with Australia. Bouncing back, remember, Australia started off so poorly. Had a loss, had a draw last time out. They needed to come back. And let's be honest, dude, China was ahead. I think China was ahead in this game if I remember correctly, but they came back, they got the 3 goals, they got that prep in their step, and they did look like the Australia of old, getting those 3 goals, getting that important 3 points. And honestly, Australia, with how results went and the other games, kind of got fortunate here, and now you're looking at them in second place on 5 points. So Australia getting the 4 points, because they get the draw against Japan, a very important draw for them. You know, honestly, with how strong Japan is, Australian fans probably expected to lose that game, but to come away with a point is huge for them, 100%. But let's just go back to the top of the game. So yeah, Australia 3-1 against China. Bahrain, Indonesia. Now, I will say this. I know I'm going to go hard on Indonesia right now because of how disappointing they were, these 2 games. But I will say Bahrain got lucky here. I think, Bahrain got a goal and it was 3 minutes over the extra time. I think the ref, I don't know why the ref didn't blow the whistle. The game should have ended 2-1 to Indonesia. But unfortunately for Indonesia, things happen. And this is what I meant. Indonesia, this is what I meant. Last time when I was having that real talk with you guys in my other videos, I said World Cup qualifying is the finest of margins. Anything can happen. It's the wild, wild west in World Cup qualifying, especially in Asia. And things like that happen. The ref not blowing the whistle when it's 2-3 minutes overtime, and Bahrain get that equalizing goal, stripping away 3 points away from you guys and giving you guys only 1 point from that game. This was a game I think you guys could have afforded to draw. I wasn't too, angry with. I wasn't I'm not angry, but I wasn't too disappointed because I would have allowed a draw here away to Bahrain. I would have allowed it, but to have it stripped away like that, Indonesia fans have to feel hard done by. I feel bad for you guys, but I told you, anything happens, anything goes in these World Cup qualifiers. You never know. And that's why you need to get your wins. You need to put your chances away. Indonesia did not do that in the Bahrain game. Saudi Arabia and Japan game. Japan just looking strong as ever. Comfortable 2-0 win against Saudi Arabia. Their team is so strong, so deep. They're the best team in Asia. They're obviously going to get first in the group. I don't think we have to spend too much time on Japan. And we already talked about Japan, Australia. Australia holding to a 1-1 draw, but that's not really going to change anything about the group if you look at the points tally. And then, we get to the absolute L of this World Cup qualifying. Indonesia losing 2-1. Yes, I know it's away from home to China. I understand. But like I said, if you Indonesians want to get to that World Cup, you need to win both games against China, home and away. You can't use we're the away excuse when you want to make it. No excuses. You have to win this game. To lose to China and give them the 3 points when China has probably been the worst team in round 3 qualifying up until this game. Shameful, Indonesia. I'm honestly so disappointed. You guys haven't won yet. Your 3 points are from 3 draws. Yes, you guys got hard done in the Bahrain game, but to lose 2-1 to China, so disappointing for you guys. I don't really feel bad because you had the chances. You guys could have done it. And I'm sorry, Indonesia fans, you tell me in the comments, you guys just got approval to bring in a couple more European players to come play for your country to secure World Cup qualification. What happened? I understand the draw to Bahrain was hard. You guys were hard done by, but to lose 2-1 to China, that's so disappointing. So Indonesia have really shot themselves in the foot here. They're on 3 points. I will say this, getting to the last game, Indonesia got done a favor by Saudi Arabia and Bahrain that Saudi Arabia and Bahrain drew. They really got done a favor because that keeps the point tally closer to them. If Saudi and really, even if they needed Saudi Arabia to win or draw, a draw is the best scenario for them because they're now 2 points away from both Bahrain and Saudi Arabia and Australia. So a draw doesn't. But if Saudi Arabia got a win, that could have knocked off Bahrain's confidence, and then Bahrain has 4 points, and then you're 1 point off Bahrain, and you can maybe sneak into that 4th position. But Indonesia, man, I'm just blowing you guys really blew it. And I expected Indonesia to come out of here with 4 points. I expected them to be on at least 6 points here. And if they were on 6 points, they would be second. But now they're out in 5th, down here in 5th place on the same points as China. So disappointing, Indonesia. You guys need to do better. We'll talk about the games next month when they come around. We'll preview those games, what needs to be done. But horrible results here for Indonesia. Indonesia fans, you have to feel pissed off by the team. This should have been 4 points. Best scenario, 6 points. It should have been, but it is what it is. I told you about it. It's the Wild Wild West in World Cup qualification. And yeah, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain 0-0. Very uneventful game. Saudi Arabia will probably be disappointed. They're at home. They should be winning this game against Bahrain, but they didn't. So, after those games, Group C finishes off. Japan, clearly the best team in this group on 10 points. And then really, because of those Indonesia flop, because the Indonesia flop and Saudi Arabia not winning at home to Bahrain, you all of a sudden have a very close group from second to sixth in terms of points. Australia, Saudi, and Bahrain. Remember, at the bottom of the screen, guys, Australia, Saudi, Bahrain, all on 5 points. Indonesia and China on 3 points. Now, I don't see China getting any more points. I really don't see China getting any more points. Maybe a draw, maybe one draw up to Bahrain. But I think China, 4 points max for them in this group. I think it's fifth to second where it's anything goes. Now, if the old Australia is back, I think Australia will clearly get second place in this group and they will automatically qualify if they put on the performances that they did continuously that we saw in these last 2 games. Then it's really, if Australia is playing with full confidence again, it's Saudi, Bahrain, and Indonesia fighting for 3rd and 4th spots. Again, Indonesia messed up big time, but you never know. Things didn't go Indonesia's way this time. Let's see if things go backwards for Bahrain next time or Saudi next time. Indonesia, though, because of how badly Saudi and Bahrain have been playing, you have to take advantage in those games. I'm thinking Indonesia, maybe you have to get that win against Saudi. You absolutely have to get that win against Bahrain at home. But maybe that Saudi game is now winnable. And at home, you better not lose to China. Now, if you guys go and lose at home to China, Indonesia, you don't deserve to go to the World Cup. Real talk. You don't deserve to go to the World Cup. I don't want you to go to the World Cup. I don't want you to be a representative of Asian football at the World Cup if you lose to China in both home and away fixtures. I do not want to see you at the World Cup if that happens. But that hasn't happened. We'll see. But absolutely not. Absolutely not. You can't. So if I'm going to give a prediction now, I think Japan will get first. I think Australia will get second come June 2025. I think Saudi will get third, and I just still have the confidence that Indonesia can get fourth. They were robbed in that Bahrain game, in my opinion. I think they can switch the results around and sneak a 4th place. But then from there, Indonesia in that playoff match, you need a miracle. You need to make miracles occur, and you need to win to get to the World Cup 2026. So that's Group C, you guys. That's been the October World Cup qualifying review here, Asia Cup World Cup qualifying review. Oh my God, I'm getting my words jumbled up. Interesting things happening. I think, some of the bigger winners this time around, I got to say, Iran definitely look a lot better now that they got that 4-1 against Qatar. Iran are definitely looking like their defense is stronger with younger guys coming through. And if Azmoun and those guys, Mohebi, can score the goals like they did today against Qatar, Iran is going to look like going to be a very good team for World Cup 2026 and going to easily qualify through their group. Some other big winners. Japan still looking strong. I think Australia is a big winner here, bouncing back. Had two pretty good performances overall compared to the crap we saw last month from them. Totally unlike Australia. And I think South Korea giving themselves distance in Group B, also a winner. The big losers this time around, I think. It's really Indonesia's the big Indonesia and Qatar, to be honest. I think Qatar, their group is easier, so they'll turn around. But I think the big loser of this last week or two in AFC World Cup qualifying is absolutely Indonesia. They crap the bed. It feels like I'm singling out Indonesia because a lot of Indonesian people watch these videos, but I'm just giving you guys that real talk. I don't give you that BS. You guys were the biggest losers of these 2 games. Completely dropped the ball. So biggest winners of these 2 games, I think, is Iran and Japan and Australia. The biggest losers, I would probably say Oman because they got a 4-0 win, but then they went and got smashed 4-0 to Jordan. And probably, definitely Indonesia. Definitely Indonesia. So is what it is, guys. I think Saudi Arabia also, their performances were not good in drawing at home to Bahrain. So, yeah, those are the winners. Those are the losers of these 2 games. Guys, it's been Hokage Puya. You guys know next month, maybe if you guys want to see different kinds of AFC videos, let me know. I like to do these AFC videos whenever qualifying or, Asia Cup qualifying comes around. Various content styles. I don't know. I like to talk about all kinds of things. But yeah, like you guys know, in November, I will have the review video, the preview video, and the review video out after those 2 games get played. And yeah, a lot happened these 2 games. If you're a winner, you're a winner. If you're a loser, you're a loser. Makes sense. Indonesia do better. Iran, Iran, let's go World Cup 2026. You guys, it's Okage Puya. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, like. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace, boys.